Welcome back to Night Talk. Hope you're having a good night. Thank you for joining us. Kevin Miller with you as we continue on, switching gears from politics to shopping. Those of you that can continue to shop, what about shopping malls? In the old days, that's where people would go on Saturday nights, Friday nights. They'd have a good time. In fact, there have been movies, books written about the appeal of malls. But are malls done? With us now, our good friend Dr. Audrey Yuski, consumer marketing analyst with Duquesne University. All around great gal. How are you, ma'am?
I'm great, Kevin. How are you doing?
Good. I can't believe that, you know, we see this all the time. Most of these malls go back and forth. You know, you have your busy season where they're filled.
Right.
Then January, February, first quarter, they're not. Yet you have to take a look at whether or not these malls are still viable. What do you think?
Well, even if you go back a couple of years before the economy really tanked and malls were not doing that well, people have so many other alternatives, whether it's online shopping, discounters, big box stores, etc. And so malls were having issues.
No food court, though. You don't have a food court at
That's really true. Yeah, you definitely. So the food courts were holding them.
Yeah, the socialization, you know.
Right.
Okay.
But you know, particularly department stores and those types of stores were not doing well. And they are, as we know, the anchors on both ends of the mall. And nationally as well as locally, when you had Kaufman's leaving and then Boscov's comes in and then they're declaring bankruptcy. So we've had a lot of issues with a lot of major retailers.
Sure.
I've been predicting all along that department stores are dinosaurs and malls, it is the demise of the mall. And so...
Let's start with a department store.
Okay.
Why would you say that a department store like a Macy's, like a Kaufman's or something like that, like a JCPenney...
Exactly. Sears.
Sears, stores that we grew up in, would go the way of a Montgomery Ward?
Well, look at what they offer. They offer a variety. They're called department stores because they have many different departments offering a wide variety of products. They tend to cater to customers as far as providing excellent customer service, a lot of perks.
You hope you get good customer service.
Well, that's their basic premise. And so what happens, we're not getting a lot of the service, we're paying more, a little bit more, so consumers have taken their dollars, we vote with our dollars, and they've moved on to more discount types of places.
Like
the
Lowe's
Walmarts.
Or a Home Depot.
Yeah, or the Walmarts, or the Targets, or the Kohl's.
Well, let's get back to this because I'm always fascinated by customer service. So you go into a mall store, and all of a sudden you go to such and such and you don't get good service. Where do you attribute the decline of customer service? The idea of the pay wages, the professionalism, the lack thereof?
Several things. First of all, the fact that they have less people working in these areas because they don't have enough money to really staff the different specialty stores and the stores in the malls that they possibly should be doing. So that's a big issue. Training isn't there because the money's not there as well. And a lot of times you get the young people who just don't get it a lot of times. You know, that you cater to the customer. The customer is always one, the big marketing concept. And so you really need to put the customer first. A lot of times that's not happening. So as a result, you get not as good quality customer service as you're paying for and you're expecting.
What about price?
Price, supposedly, if you're paying a higher price and going to some of these more specialty stores as compared to the discounters that we have, you're supposed to get the customer service, and we're not. And keep in mind, in an economy like this, Kevin, what people are looking for is the bottom line, the dollar. So they're willing to go to a place, in and out, maybe not get the customer service, maybe not get that greeting as they walk in the door, but if they can save that buck and get the most bang for their dollar, they're going to do it.
So again, the blurring of the lines between a Target and a Walmart and a Sears and a Penny's, that's what's happening.
That's what's happening. So you've got a place like Macy's who is trying to be the national department store to everyone, and they're cookie cutter, and it's not working. You take a town like Pittsburgh, and we loved our Kaufman's because it offered something unique. They would sell different types of merchandise here. You can't take a general department store and sell the same stuff to us
that
you sell in LA.
But don't you see that everywhere now?
Oh, you do? Oh,
not that
absolutely.
I'm a proponent of it, but it seems as if whether it's the media, whether it's shopping, whether it's coffee shops, localism is dead.
Exactly. But, you know, it's sort of, but that's what customers want. You know, everything's generalized and everything's mass merchandise to us. Cookie cutter, one size fits all. But customers want that mass customization. I want things, products, services geared specifically to me, and people are willing to pay maybe a little bit more for that. But as customers, we're not seeing that, you're right. And so that's why a lot of these stores are going out of business.
So we got the department stores that are dying. What's the impact on the mall?
Huge impact, because they are the anchor stores. And so if you've got an empty end at a lot of the malls, because the Boscov's isn't there, Kaufman's isn't there, Lazarus, whatever the store of the day happened to be. And so as a result, it's hurting, and we've seen a lot of vacancies in a lot of malls. Not to say all the malls are doing poorly, because you've got Ross Park Mall who's doing very well.
You're pointing the finger here, Dr. Gusky.
I am, Kevin.
Hey,
sorry.
Hey, it's okay.
And you've got Galleria is doing pretty well in the South Hills, and South Hills Village, and the mall at Robinson. They're all doing fairly well. So it's not to say that all malls are doing poorly.
Well, let's talk about some of the malls that are not doing so well. We'll talk about that coming up.
Great.
All right, that works for you?
Yes.
All right, as we continue on, 412-333-PCNC. If you have a question concerning shopping and malls and whether or not they're going the way of the dinosaur. Answers next. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Night Talk. Kevin Miller with you as we continue on. Dr. Audrey Gusky with us from Duquesne University, talking about marketing and malls, one of my favorite places to hang out as we go through the motions here. Let's talk about some of the malls in the area where we have some challenges economically. Pittsburgh Mills has to be one that you'd like to see more shops in there, brilliant facility, nice infrastructure, easy access on and off the highway. What are the challenges for Pittsburgh Mills?
Well, there was a lot of hope when they first came in, but I think, as we were talking during the break, the oversaturation overall in that area. Too many opportunities for people to shop, too many different places, didn't have the right mix of stores. They just didn't hit it. They just didn't hit it right. And as a result, they've been suffering ever since they opened. They've never really established themselves as a good destination area to go to.
You think about that, though. I mean, you got the big movie theater. I guess at first it was a bowling alley. Now it's a movie theater.
Lucky strike.
You got a pretty good food court. I mean, not the electorate, but our consumers changing. You know, you just want to go to the Target or the Best Buy as opposed to, you know, more traditional shoppers would like to go to the mall. Is that part of it?
Well, that could be part of it. Now, keep in mind, the economy over these past couple of months have changed so much.
I know, but at Christmas, everybody had shopping bags. Maybe they're using their credit cards. Look, I had a lot of free time at Christmas. Take my word for it. I went to malls. I went to every mall in the area, bar none. Beaver Park Mall, Butler Mall, you name it. And I was amazed at how many people were shopping. Now, January 1, dried up.
Well, you have to keep in mind, how much were they spending? Were they getting all the things on sale, which was happening? Were their bags really full? Were they really, did they really have shopping bags, or were they just browsing and looking? So, you know, even at Christmas time, as we know, sales weren't as strong as they had hoped. And January, believe it or not, wasn't too bad as far as the economic impact of retailers. The reason people were spending their gift cards, and there were tons of sales out there as well. So, you know, it's just been, it's a different world. It's a different landscape for retailers. And I think they were hurting before the economy had so many problems. And now that we're really in a crunch and people are really making do and not spending, it's a huge challenge for retailers out there.
It is indeed. Perhaps one of the ways that they can reach more people, social networking. We hear a lot about this.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it's a big, big opportunity for marketers, a great marketing tool. Oh, yes.
Now, here, please educate me, because I hear about the MySpace, the Facebook, the Twitter. I got a life, not much of a life, but I don't really care what somebody else is doing. Oh, he tweeted me. When you have people during NBA games tweeting one another, I guess we'll start with Twitter, because that's the newest phenomenon. What is Twitter?
Well, basically, it's like instant messaging, where you can send supposedly 140 characters to someone. It's short, it's sweet.
And you put it on your phone, too? Or?
There's many applications. You can get on your phone, you can get email. So there's a lot of avenues. So that's the beauty of it.
You can crank up your texting charges.
Yeah, of course you can.
Right.
So, you know, what does it mean to consumers and marketers? The coffee shop down the street, there's an empty table. So they send a tweet out to you and you know, get you there. Or the donuts are just out, or the cupcakes from the bakery.
But can't you get too saturated? I mean, you have Brian Williams, you have all these big media types using this, and hey, I've got, what was it, Larry King and Ashton Kutcher were going back and forth, who would get the most tweets. After a while, you know, like anything else, would it get old? I mean, again, what's the appeal? I understand where you're coming from, where you're saying, basically, hey, my favorite bookstore, they've got a copy of a book that I want, I'm going to go get it. But, I mean, could we see an oversaturation with Twitter? And I don't think they're making any money, by the way, either.
That's correct. They really didn't tap into the financial aspects. They probably should have been taking more of a commercial slant. Keep in mind, it's a hot thing now. It's been around for 3 years. You've got, what, 500 million tweets going out every day or something. And so...
And you tweet? You Twitter?
I don't do it as much as I... Do you? Okay. Keep in mind who's doing it. It's the young people. It's my students out there at Duquesne. It's the 20-something group, and it's a great means for them to communicate. They got very much into MySpace and Facebook, and that was a great way for them to, you know, socialize. It's a different world out there, and for marketers who are taking advantage of it, good opportunities for consumers to get some information. But you're right, it's a trend. How long do trends last? We don't know. It's real hot now. It takes time, of course. It takes an investment in learning this new type of technology and using it and becoming a follower or having followers follow you.
Now, quickly, we've got about 20 seconds left. Facebook and MySpace, it's not the young kids anymore, it's the old folks.
Well, yeah, and LinkedIn as well is another way for people our age to be doing that. So there's a lot of opportunities, and basically it's just a means for people to network and get to know each other.
Whatever happened to privacy?
Well, whatever happened to talking one-on-one?
Dr. Gusky, that'll have to be the last word. We appreciate it. To everybody, thank you very much for watching. Again, we appreciate it. Good night. God bless. We'll see you soon.